Well, welcome to Midweek Minute. Great to have you aboard today. And you know, the little scenery behind me reminds me of a story in Mark's Gospel, chapter 2. You might read it. It's really an interesting story. It's about four guys who had a friend in great need. And they believed in their heart that if somehow they could get him to Jesus, that he would be made well. And so they loaded him on a stretcher, so to speak, and began to carry him to a house where they thought that Jesus was. Well, by the time they got there, the house was so surrounded by people they couldn't even get near the door. And so they came up with a plan. They saw a stairway going up to the side of the house onto the roof. So they carried their friend up the stairway and began to remove the roof and let him down in the presence of Jesus. And if you read the story, you'll find that he was completely made whole. You know, one of the lessons of the story is this, that sometimes you have to overcome obstacles to get to Jesus, as these men did. I remember a number of years ago, I pastored in Litchfield, Minnesota, and there was a fellow that lived next to the church. His name was Norman, and over a period of time, became friends with Norman, and oftentimes we would gather together in his garage and just have some good and interesting conversation together. One day we got to talking about God and church and things like that, spiritual things. And I said to Norman, I asked him a question, said, Norman, do you go to church? He said, no. And I said, why? He said, well, because it's full of hypocrites. Really? I said, so Norman, you don't go to church because the church is full of hypocrites. Is that right? Yes. I said, are there any hypocrites at your work? He said, oh yeah, there's a lot there too. I said, do you stay home from work? And he said, no, that's not the same. It's not the same. Well, I said, Norman, here's what the truth is. That these hypocrites that are keeping you from the church are closer to God than you are. And somehow you're going to have to overcome them. You know, it's great to have friends that will help us overcome the obstacles that separate us from God. Is there some obstacle that's separating you from God? I trust that you will overcome it and come to Him. God bless you, and have a great day.